just inside the Beltway, about 10 miles east of the Capitol Dome as we come to you from FedEx Field here in Landover.
The enthusiasm for football here on the East Coast always in the air. These folks are ready as their guys get set to match up
with the Cleveland Browns. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And he can't field it cleanly. It's loose.
Baby, let's go! Let's go, boys. Bring it on.
They go play action here on first down. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Grant Delpit. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. Well, it's no secret he's had trouble this year with interceptions, and this is a bad start for him. First drive, throwing another pick.
No matter who's broadcasting his game, that's how the conversation begins. Throwing too many interceptions, can he take care of the football? If I were his backup, I'd be edging towards the coaches and saying, hey, how about giving me an opportunity?
After the interception, here's Watson. And that is taken in by Njoku. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver, although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
Off of play action, it's Watson. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on the sack. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
Picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick. And not much on the return there. He'll take it only up to the 9-yard line.
So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
They'll run for the first time with Antonio Gibson.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, this defense for the Browns, they were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
But we certainly had a nice conversation with the defensive coordinator, didn't we? And what we heard, I like what we did, but we definitely need more pressure on the quarterback this week.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Looking to throw. McPherson. Man open. He's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down. 36-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Back to throw. McPherson. Left side here, that's the tight end Fant. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync. stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was...
And the ball is knocked out. And this is picked up by the Browns. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Pretty nice work defensively there on the first down run as they hold him to a gain of a couple.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Now a pass that's taken in by Hill. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
They'll let this go for the end zone. And that's going to be caught from Browns. Touchdown. Anthony Schwartz, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Browns have taken the early lead. Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. They'll start on the ground with Gibson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Looking to throw. McPherson. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. And he takes this way down deep into Cleveland territory. A big play there on the catch and run. I don't think there's anyone who could possibly doubt how fast he could run in the open field. But if there were, he silenced those thoughts there. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Flushed out right. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1.
That's a big league job there, getting out of the pocket, not panicking, and just buying himself some time. Then he made a good, accurate throw to set up 1st and goal.
So 3 plays, already 1st and goal, and they are wasting little time. Gibson. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And Washington now an extra point away from tying this thing up. Extra point tacked on by Lambo. And that will tie our score here in this opening quarter of play. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. 3-2, their record through the first 5 games of the year as they got the victory last week. It's still early, just October, but what have you seen from these guys so far?
Well, what I've seen is a team that's still figuring out all their pieces because they've got some new faces from a year ago, add in some new draft picks. Sometimes it takes a month or so before you really start to gel as a team and for those players to figure out their roles. But right now, I see them starting to elevate.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now Watson. And he'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
On 1st and 10, Watson. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A big connection on that one, 30 yards. Now, we know this offense has the potential to strike quickly, and they just bit off 2 huge plays on back-to-back snaps.
So on the other side of the ball, you've got to go band of brothers thought process. No one left behind, no pointing fingers, no accusations. Because if you don't, those quick strikes we just saw, they become long-lasting.
And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
Now we'll play fake, and it's Watson. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that tuck rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. An incomplete pass on 2nd down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Now it's Watson. And that will be incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Seibert's kick is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
This fielded right at the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go up and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. To throw again, McPherson. He's going to drop this one down to Gibson. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped.
Well, he was a busy man out of the backfield a week ago. They got the ball early and often. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be a big part of the game plan here as well.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
56, the mic, boys, 56. Check 56.
Back to throw. McPherson. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 10-7 our score after 1 right here on EA Sports. Again, he'll drop to throw. They'll set up the screen for Gibson. No gain on the screen there at 2nd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Now a throw here, hauled in. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. They'll run with Gibson. Oh, what a move. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And that is incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. McPherson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Grant Delpit. There he goes, right side. The 30. 10. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Browns defense has a touchdown. Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. It's good to make it 17-7.
Makes the score Browns 17. Washington 7.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Tyler Lockett now on the return. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
Washington takes over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense.
And following the pick six, and they had decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him, and they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. A big play there on the catch and run.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. He's been a big play guy from the word go and continues to be one with another one right there.
56, Mike, 56, right there, 56.
On first down, McPherson. He completes this one to Terry McLaurin. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20.
I tell you what, it looks like he's shaking off that pick six just fine. It's not just defensive backs that have to have short memories. Quarterbacks utilize that as well. A much more confident throw right there.
And a good gain here of 9 from the 19 down to the 10.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. And here he'll get it down to the 7.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Off play action. McPherson dancing to his left toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. Shotgun handoff to Gibson. Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. And this is picked up by the Browns. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. 30. Past the 20. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for a Browns TD. Seibert on for the PAT. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Lockett the return. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive, then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction.
There's not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You've just got to regroup and start putting another drive together. That's all you can do.
On 1st and 10, McPherson. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Over the middle, he gets it to Gibson. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 3rd and 5.
Gibson here running out of the gun. Pushing tacklers aside. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 140 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Back to throw. McPherson. He's got his big tight end, Fant. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
Off the play fake. McPherson. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 16. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line.
It's just been one mistake after another on the offensive side of the ball. That's now 3 interceptions to go along with 2 fumbles for him. And if you're going to turn the ball over 5 times in a game, your chances to win have to be about 100 to 1. And it's not looking good for him here.
And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And the lead is now 24.
Makes the score Browns 31, Washington 7.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Lockett the return. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense.
And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because his confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
A give running right, Gibson. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Throwing on first down. McPherson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked by Antoine Winfield Jr. And the Browns are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield.
The Browns drive about to get started. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, we'll see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Out of the pistol, here's Williams. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
After the run, Watson going to throw. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped it to 1.
Well, this is a defense that's definitely on their heels now because they gave up the running play for good yardage 1 play ago. Now the pass here sets this offense up 1st and goal. They're going to have to dig in strong now because they've been in retreat so far in this drive. This offense on the march.
Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal.
Oh, the option to give to Williams here.
And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down.
Now a timeout taken.
Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
The ball mere inches from the white line on 3rd and goal.
The final shot before the break, Watson. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Deshaun Watson with his 3rd touchdown pass of this first half.
And the Browns would extend their lead here just before halftime.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And a rout is on here in this first half.
So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away.
Lockett the return. So we come upon halftime, and it's the visiting Browns with the lead. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, Well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Yeah, that's something to consider. Are we in for more one-way traffic here in the second half? It has not been a competitive game to this point. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. The first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer out of reach with a score here.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the football, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
On 2nd and 9, Watson. That one complete to Hill. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. All right. Here we go. Let's go, D. Let's go.
A shotgun snap for Watson. He finds his man, complete. That's Knight. Now a loose football. The ball comes out. And it's Washington that scoops it up. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. A lot of talk this week about ball security. In fact, they added an extra period in practice to be more secure with the ball. It didn't work out there.
Well, sometimes you just get overexcited during the game. You may all of a sudden make your catch, see some open field, and decide you're going for it, and not realizing that danger lurks while you're doing so. And there's your end result right there.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. Here's a give to Gibson. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
That's caught over the middle by Fant. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
Looking to throw. McPherson. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is...
Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. Touchdown, Washington. Terry McLaurin. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And Washington able to cut into that deficit. Point after by Lambeau, up and good. And the lead is down to 24. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. Takes it at the 7. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown.
That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
They're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
From the 39, Watson. He's going to drop this one down for Chubb.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Watson on first down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Chase Young able to record his 5th sack of the season. He found his way into the backfield, and he simply would not be denied.
Well, they say that life's all about opportunities, and that holds true when you're playing defense as well. How about him seeing that chance, making the most of it, did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
He's 2nd in the NFL in interceptions, and you understand why. He plays the game with great intelligence, understands positioning, and has a great ability to break on the football when it's in the air.
So fun to watch his closing speed, and another example of it on that play. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means he'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Back to throw, Watson. And that is incomplete.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
On first down, McPherson.
That's out to the flat for Gibson.
And he loses the football a 2nd time. And this is picked up by the Browns.
Well, if these guys wanted to get back in this game, they needed an almost perfect second half and down 3 scores. And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Back to throw. McPherson.
And he'll complete this to Gibson.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
It's a gain of 11. That's good for Washington. First down.
On 1st and 10, McPherson. And now here's another interception. Picked off at the 49. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown.
So this defense doubling its pleasure there. Remember, they had the fumble return for a score earlier in the game, and now this time an interception return for another score. Extra point by Seibert, up and good, and the lead will swell by one more.
Washington 14.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And last time, decent field position through the pick six. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position, not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
On second down, it's Gibson. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need one. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
Throwing on first down. McPherson eluding the pressure right. Slings this deep from McLaurin. And that is incomplete.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable. And that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Gibson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 46. Off play action. McPherson. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off near the 34. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Watson now to throw. And he gets it to his running back, Nick Chubb. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Short completion, just 4 yards. And it'll be 3rd down. Here's Watson. He's got Njoku, his big tight end. And he is going to have a Browns 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Partner, I have to tell you, just one word keeps coming to mind from watching them this afternoon, and that's impressive. They have been impressive from the opening kickoff, and they haven't let up here even into the 4th quarter.
They will get 4 yards here on the 1st down run, and that'll make it 2nd and 6.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
Let's go. Hey, let's
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7.
All right, I don't want to get too poetic here where they talk about, the eyes being the windows of the soul. You know what else the eyes do? They see the open spaces on a field, and those eyes carry your legs to those spots, and that's what happened on that play. He saw an opening and went and got it.
Well, he really hasn't ran the ball all game. Fourth quarter here, need a big play, able to pick it up. So whatever the eyes saw and created, it worked. They'll contain him to just 4, 2nd down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Deshaun Watson scoring on the 2-yard keeper. And the Browns are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this fourth quarter lead. Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Lockett the return. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Michael Pierce, in all of his 340-pound glory, gets the sack. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered, because had the defense gotten it, they were already within a shadow of the goalpost.
Yeah, and then you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position.
He hits his target, Lockett. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
And boy, another ill-advised throw there, as that will wind up incomplete.
Similar to a shooter in basketball, just connected on the previous shot. They run another set for him on the next play. Now, we had a guy who made the catch. They tried to get the big one downfield, but came up empty.
Forced out to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. Washington on 3rd down. They've been near perfect. 4 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and forever. It's caught, Lockett. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A couple of first downs on the drive already, as he'll go from the 47 now on 1st down. A throw on the quick slant going to be complete, and that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. Looking to throw on 2nd down. McPherson. Left side here, that's the tight end Fant. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll look to throw again. And he can't escape, and down he goes. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Blitz forthcoming as he'll look to throw. Left side complete to Lockett. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 26. Looking to throw. McPherson. And now here is another interception. Picked off down near the 5. And the return just out across the 15 to the 16-yard line. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
And the holding penalty sets them back inside the 20 as they get going on this drive. They'll try and run down some clock with Williams. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Again, it's Williams. And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line. 67 yards on the ground for him so far.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
The Browns on 3rd down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And Chubb fighting, but nowhere to go. He's going to be stopped short of that first down marker. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Extra point tacked on by Lambeau as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Browns drive about to get started. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Throwing now, Watson. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts, as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. Going to need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? They'll run out of the gun here. Williams. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. And now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout, as it'll come with an even 90 seconds remaining on the clock. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Now they can't bring him down. They'll score that a 36-yard punt. And Washington will have a short field here as they take over 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. McPherson. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Greg Newsome. The utter domination here just continues. This defense, I don't know what more we can say all around about their performance.
Well, it certainly feels in this game like maybe they're facing a Canadian defense. 12 guys on the field. It feels like there's an extra on every snap because they have really struggled to make headway through the air.
Down to a knee goes Watson, and that should just about do it for this ball game. So this offense, which was humming all game, ends on a negative play. We didn't see many of those as he takes the knee, but what an explosion and a good win.
Can we call it a negative positive play?
There you go.
An oxymoron to end the ball game.
And they can watch the clock go down and celebrate the victory. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Cleveland, their good start continues as they get their record up to 4-2. And they'll return home next week to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, for Washington, they can't quite seem to turn things around as they fall into 2-4 now on the year. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Glendale to take on the Cardinals.